Arguably, the most successful period in the country's soccer history has ushered in the most tumultuous time governing the sport. The men's and women's national teams are embroiled in a labor dispute, and there's mounting frustration over funding their teams. The president of Canada Soccer, Nick Bontis, finally stepped down, saying, "I acknowledge that this moment requires change." For the women, it's also about equity. They want the same financial backing for their World Cup this year that the men got last year.
If we are to promote equity in sport and women's sport, we need to put resources in that.
Some would call it an own goal by Canada Soccer. The organization lost the trust of the women's and men's national teams at a triumphant time for both. For the women, the demand for fairness is backed by a generation of success, starting with the under-19 team 20 years ago. Canadian women have been at or near the top. 2 bronze medals, hosting the World Cup, the top scorer in the history of international soccer, and an Olympic gold medal. There is exponentially more money in the men's game worldwide, but in this country, soccer's popularity was spurred by women.
Right up until a few years ago, the men's national team in Canada was an afterthought. And the women's national team, were winning Olympic medals. They were capturing the hearts of the nation. And they were fueling kind of the growth of the game in the way that the men's national team hasn't. So I think that's where some of the frustration comes.
There's also frustration that Canada Soccer negotiated corporate sponsorship and broadcast agreements before the boom times that now cap the amount that Canada Soccer receives. The players, men and women, want Canada Soccer to open its books.
There is no excuse for lack of transparency and lack of accountability.
Melina Perrant believes Canada Soccer has an opportunity to come out of this crisis and become a leader in equity and sports governance. Eric Sorensen, Global News, Toronto.